In this example, we're going to be looking at how to input data in Python and how to store data. So to store anything, we're going to need somewhere to put it. Just like in real life, you'd need to put your toys away in a box. So what we need to create something called a variable. And a variable is just an area of memory that we can give a label, or we can give it a name, and then we can store some data inside it. And to create a variable in Python, all we need to do is to give it a name and have an equals sign. So, for example, say I wanted to store somebody's age, I can just say age equals, and then give it a value. So age equals 15. And that's all there is to creating a variable. You give it a name and you give it a value. There are some names that aren't allowed to be used, such as pass or input or print. So you can't use them as variable names, but there are plenty of others out there. They also can't start with numbers. But for the most part, if you just keep your variable names sensible and related to what you're trying to store, then you should be fine. So what if I don't want to just store that bit of data in the computer? What if I want to ask the user to type it in? So we start with a really simple example of them typing in their name. So I'll need a variable, and I'm just going to call it name, and you're going to put an equals sign. Now, rather than assigning it a value, so typing the value in here, and because it's a word output, or because it's a text, I would put some quotes around it, right? Rather than doing that, what I'm going to do is use the input command. So you've got input, and then you put 2 brackets. And what that's going to do, it's going to prompt the user to type something in. And to make that easier, inside of the brackets, we can put a wee message with some quotes around it. And I'm just going to say, enter name. I'm going to put a wee colon there just to make the formatting nice. That's just a personal preference. Now, if I run that bit of code, it's going to come up, enter name, and I can type something in, like John. Now, the program doesn't do anything else. All it does is store that name. If we wanted to test that it's working, we could print the variable name. So now that we've stored it, we can print it. I'm going to run that. If I type in a name, it prints it back out. So we know that that's working, and the computer's now storing whatever we type in inside the variable name. At its core, that's all there is to inputting data and storing it. There are a few more technical sides to it, which we'll go into next.